Hey folks, welcome back to River Rat Gear Review, where we talk all things whitewater and the gear you need to get on the river. My name's Dylan Holt, and today we're going to be taking a special look at Hell's Half Mile Rapid on the Gates of Lodore permitted stretch in Dinosaur National Monument. Hell's Half Mile is a solid Class 4 rapid and the biggest rapid on the Gates of Lodore stretch. If you don't know the river very well, you should definitely stop and scout this rapid on River Left. There's a trail that'll walk down and you can look at all the number of features there. Today we'll be taking a look at a number of boat runs through Hell's Half Mile and doing a play-by-play looking at the different features and technical aspects of the rapid. So let's take a look at it.
So here's a look at Hell's Half Mile, and the main move is to enter River Left. There's a large marking boulder that can signal the entryway. Basically you want to be left of that. And then there's a smaller guard rock down below that prevents you from getting over earlier. Then you move into the main part of the current through the tongue and down towards Lucifer, which is most of the time the bigger hazard on this rapid, and then away from Lucifer and downstream, avoiding a rap rock. So let's watch a couple private boaters go through the rapid. Here comes the blue boat, lining up a little bit off the guard rock there, pushing into the middle of the channel. Makes it down the chute, catches a little piece of the hole up there, and then he's moving at this point right off of Lucifer and clears it. Green boat's a little bit left of where he was and needs to be making moves further in channel. He's going to end up in that crunchy hole right at the top and is alright to go through there. And then he's a little bit left up onto Lucifer as well. Makes it off of that clean. And then sets up to pull away from the lower rap rock that you can see down there, pulling pretty hard to avoid that. Here comes the red boat, lines up right off the lower guard rock that prevents early entry, so you gotta go below that and then push right through into the main channel, into the lateral here, and then off the Lucifer, and then sets up to pull away from the lower rap rock. That's a very nice line. And he misses it. So let's watch a couple more boaters. Here comes the yellow boat, deciding to pull into the main channel below the lower guard rock. Swings in, drops the main part of the channel, and then goes a little bit up onto Lucifer, drops in there, and then is pushing to get away from that lower rap rock. Next boat, avoiding, getting right below that lower guard rock and dropping the main chute. Nice line there, off of Lucifer, and sets up to pull away from the lower guard rock. If you can come off Lucifer and pull away, you're in a better situation than trying to push away from that lower rock. Pack raft, as you can see, can get above the lower guard rock and get into that slower water, line up for the chute, and drop that main tongue right there. But the lateral here will get him, and then he proceeds to recover. The green boats here moving a little bit left, not making moves as early as they should be. Consequently, they'll be into this hole here. Right there, but it goes in straight and it comes out fine. And a little bit up onto Lucifer because of that line, but there's enough water going over it at this point that that's not really that big a deal. I wouldn't recommend that line in lower flows. And then you see he's pushing pretty hard to get away from that lower rock at this point. Bumps it a little bit. Here comes next boat. Same thing, lining up that off that lower rock. Makes a nice move into the middle and then just squares it up a bit. And he's looking at Lucifer here, off to the right of it. And then a little pivot, and he's pushing away. He's going to end up pushing hard to get away from that lower rock, but clears it. So here's a shot of Lucifer from the bottom looking upstream, and you can see there's quite a bit of water going over this at this point at 2100 CFS. It was really not that big of a hazard at this point. On lower water trips, which it generally is this time of year in August, this would be a much bigger hazard where you maybe nose up onto it and spin off, or end up maybe potentially wrapping. Right now, you could have gone over the top of this thing. It would have been a pretty big drop, but as long as you were straight, you probably would have made it fine. There was enough current, though, that was just pushing everybody right off the side of it. And here's a look at the lower wrap rock that actually did have a wrapped boat on it when we arrived and was extracted. You can see that there's actually a little rock above it, just upstream, that kind of makes a little pocket in between the two, and it really provided a nice little slot for a boat to wrap on that thing. This was a 16-foot raft, and it was completely tacoed perfectly on that rock. And there was quite a bit of current running right at that rock at this level that really made this probably the bigger hazard rather than Lucifer at this level. So here's the POV of my line through Hell's Half Mile. You can see the large rock there that I'm kind of lining up on. You see that on your entry, and you know that you're going to be left of that. And at this point, I'm basically just looking for that lower guard rock. Once I identify that right there, I'm just going to slow down a little bit, sneak by it, get into the main part of the current, avoiding the crunchy hole to my left, spin, line up, take this little lateral here, and then I'm looking at Lucifer, and I know I'm clear of it at this point, off the side of that. And then I'm going to try to set up and pull to avoid the lower wrap rock, and then end up squeaking by it here, run it backwards, and avoid it. Once you're through there, that's mostly the major hazards in Hell's Half Mile, although there is a number of downstream rocks and it gets quite shallow. So don't let your guard down quite soon here. Just you'll need to weave through this lower rock garden before you hit the pool down at the bottom. And that's Hell's Half Mile.
So that's Hell's Half Mile Rapid in the Gates of Lodore. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next one.